Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube. Ren here. So, Imbolc is almost here. Imbolc is the Sabbat that falls usually on or around February 1st. This is one of the cross-quarter Sabbats, so it falls in between the solstice in winter and the equinox in spring. This is one of the more neglected Sabbats, which I think is a shame because it's one of my personal favorites. This is sort of like that harbinger leading into the springtime period, but whereas after Yule, spring we're not even thinking about, this is when we first start thinking, hey, actually spring is getting close, we need to start preparing. And the big way that we start preparing, if we follow the cue from nature outside, is clearing away all the crap that no longer need so we can have that space for the new growth that's going to come. This fits in with the time of year. If you're not familiar with the Roman roots of the calendar that we use, February, the month is named after Februa, which was a purification ceremony in ancient Rome. So, along those lines, I am creating a tea blend which has purification as its primary theme. So, let's get started. First thing I'm starting with, I already have it ready in my bowl to be mixed. This is 3 parts of white tea. Now, white tea is basically a minimally processed tea that is made from the very end of the growing tips of the tea plant. So this makes a very pale colored brew, very light in flavor, very high in antioxidants, and antioxidants are sort of like our body's cleansers. And also I like the symbolism of the white tea with that very new growth being the one that's used. We're going to use that in our tea. Now, if you cannot get your hands on white tea, because it is a little more pricey and a little harder to find, green tea makes a good substitute, but you'll get more of the tea flavor through with the green tea, whereas the white tea has a lighter flavor to it. That's really the only difference. So 3 parts white tea is what we're starting with. Our next ingredient, oh, this is one of my favorites. I love this. I love this flavor. Absolute favorite. This is lemon peel. Oh my gosh. Lemon is like one of my absolute favorite flavors. So lemon has long uses in cleansing in a lot of witchy uses. Lemon is also used in one of my absolute favorite digestivios, which is an Italian word for something that aids the digestion. It's a tea called canarino, which is basically just hot water poured over fresh lemon peels. So this tea is kind of reminiscent of that, but we have our 2 parts of lemon peel, which I'm just going to very minimally break up into smaller pieces. Oh, and that smell is amazing. And really nothing, I don't know. I think so many of us are ingrained to associate lemon, the smell of lemon, with the smell of clean. So many of our modern day cleansers and soaps use lemon scent as a way to impart the message to our brain that this is clean. So lemon is very good for that. So there's our 2 parts of lemon peel. Our next ingredient right here, lavender. Lavender, of course, is also a great cleansing and purification herb. The actual root, the name lavender, comes from lavare, which means to wash, because it is used in washing. So we're just going to use 1 part of lavender. You may notice my parts I'm using tablespoons, but whatever proportion of part you want to use, as always, is yours, as you see fit. So we have white tea, lemon, lavender so far. Oof. So good. All right. Lavender also has the advantage of giving you sort of like clean thoughts. You know, it just kind of clears out all the muck in your brain and helps you think more clearly. So it's good for mental cleansing as well. All right. Next one, very classic cleansing herb, sage. Whenever somebody thinks of smoke cleansing, sage is always the very first plant they go to. But sage can be used in a lot of other cleansing properties as well. I'm going to take some of these bigger twigs out and just go for the smaller leaves here. So we're going to do 1 part of sage, which will be my tablespoon here. think that's about a tablespoon. If we take that stick off right there, that looks about right. Grind it up a little bit. Sage is one you got to be careful when you're grinding up. I'm not going to use my pestle on this because if you grind it too much, it will just turn into a powder. And we don't want it completely powdered. It also tends to kind of like stick to itself. And the more you grind it, the more that property is going to come forward. So we just want to very minimally process our sage. Add that in. Everybody thinks of sage for cleansing. Most commonly you see the white sage, which I have issues with using. That belongs to a culture to which I am not indigenous to. So I try not to use white sage, but garden sage is definitely part of my upbringing and cultural history, so I have no qualms about using garden sage or clary sage or any of the other European sages. So there we go. Gives a nice little earthy undernote to that bright floral qualities of the tea. Alright, now this is the last one here. This is hyssop. Hyssop is, again, very, very old cleansing herb. This is one of the herbs that King Solomon supposedly used in his asperger when he was asperging or cleansing the temple. This is also an herb that is referred to for its cleansing properties in the Psalms in the Bible. But this herb has a lovely smell to it, but it has a very bitter undertone. So we need to be very sparing with this. We want to bring its energetic properties into it, but we don't want to be overwhelmed by the flavor. So in my recipe, I said half a part of hyssop, but to be honest, you could go as low as a quarter part and it'll be fine. Now, half a part normally would be 1.5 teaspoons. I think I'm just going to use 1 teaspoon of this and a scant teaspoon at that. So just to bring a little bit of that herb into there. There we go. And then as always, just mix it into a nice homogeneous mix with your hands. Oh yeah. This has a wonderful aroma to it. Delicious. So, there we are. That's our little cleansing purification Imbolc tea. So, that's all I have for you today. Beautiful recipe. I'm really looking forward to drinking this one. I've always drunk every one of these teas that I make. I always drink them before I put the recipe out there because I want to tweak it. But this one came together very easily. And it is delicious. So I'm looking forward to drinking it again once the time comes for actual Imbolc. Anyway, hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.